What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector Edition Wave 12 figures. So in this wave, we have Dark Archer, Deathstroke, and the Darkstar. So we get 3Ds here. So it looks pretty cool, especially with our Dark Archer. Of course, has kind of like a cheesy look to him, but a nice enemy to go along with our Green Arrow. Then, of course, Deathstroke, always a nice famous character, just in his more classic design, which I absolutely love that with the orange and blues. Everything looks good there. And then the Darkstars, of course, which is just another intergalactic police force, and they wear all this sort of disguise, and many different characters or wear the costumes over the years and everything. So we'll go through all that. But with this pack, I did order it from Entertainment Earth, and it came with all the platinum editions as well. So for each of these, we have the platinum versions. So for Dark Archer, we have Tommy Merlin, which looks pretty cool with that design. So the son of Malcolm Merlin looks pretty cool there, more modern villain for Green Arrow there. So it looks pretty cool for him. Then for Deathstroke, we just have the Teen Titans animated series color design with the more grays and blacks and stuff. So same figure, obviously, just in a different color design there for him. And for the Darkstar, we get their like original, more comic design. The outfit design, everything is exactly the same, just more classic colors with the brighter reds and stuff. So it looks pretty cool and comes with the head of John Stewart and another one of the guys that was a Darkstar over the years. So we have those three to look at as well. So I'm excited to check this wave out. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Dark Archer, who is also known as Merlin, or real name Arthur King. He's a master archer that inspired Oliver Queen to take up archery, and years later, once Oliver had become the Green Arrow, Merlin the Magician, as he was known, challenged him to an archery duel and successfully defeated Oliver. He would then reappear years later as a member of the League of Assassins and work as a freelance assassin for the highest bidder. So pretty cool to get Dark Archer here, and you may also know him. I don't know like the whole backstory and like when it became and stuff, but he's also known as Malcolm Merlin. I know he appeared in the Arrow TV show and stuff as Malcolm Merlin. That was the Dark Archer from there and stuff. But it looks pretty cool with the design. Of course, being a member of the League of Assassins, it makes me think of Ra's al Ghul. And with like his head design and stuff, that's exactly what I think of, is like, especially with the hair design, with like the hair coming over to the side, like little curls and stuff, or like curled up, whatever that sort of design is, you'd call just the way it is, or like curved up to the side and stuff. It kind of reminds me of like Wolverine-ish, and then like the little like goatee or whatever he's got there. Of course, a nice smirk on his face with his eyebrow raise, so that's a nice face design for a character. Then we get his outfit, which of course looks like Red Arrow that we've had before. So we get this like darker blue color that has a nice texture to it, black underneath, some lighter blue thrown in as well. So love those blue combinations in there with the black sleeves coming down with blue details for the gloves and going up the sleeves there. All the like harness and stuff, whatever's wrapped around him there, and the light blue as well. Then some black down here on his legs with more of that blue continuing there, and then her thighs down to his boots as well. And then love how he has holsters on the sides with some yellow feathered arrows in there as well. So overall, a nice design. Of course, this is an older like classic design form and stuff, but still looks pretty good and identifiable as Dark Archer. But moon-wise, his head will twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so not bad movements. Shoulders will come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex there on the ball joint there, back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch, so the upper crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then at the waist, you should be able to crunch back and forth and twist all the way around there as well. Then down to the hips, that'll come up to 90 and out to the side to the splits there. Get a little bit of a thigh twist and the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back. Not bad at all. Down to the foot, that'll rock back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So decent movements overall. You know, the standard McFarlane movements, so nothing at all issues with that. He didn't have the like what I always call the butterfly. I don't know if it's just hidden back under the clothing or what the deal is going on with that, but it doesn't seem that he has that. So that's like the one thing that I guess that is different. But accessory-wise, he comes with what you would expect, especially for an archer character. So he comes with a quiver full of arrows. So we get the bundle of arrows there once again, like we've had with the green arrows, again with the yellow feathered tips there. So that's pretty nice. We can plug this into his back. So just plug that in the back there. And of course, he needs a bow as well. So we get the nice dark blue color bow there. It looks pretty nice when we put this in his hand. And there with that, you can kind of try to pose up the bow in his hand. Of course, he doesn't come with an arrow or anything to try and hold on to it, but you can just kind of do that with the thinner plastic there of the bowstring and stuff. You can kind of get that hooked in his finger there like he's actually using the bow and all that. And then, of course, he comes with the base. We'll put him on. So that looks pretty cool there. And of course, we also get his card. So there's a nice picture of him from the comics. Again, much more maniacal look and everything to him there, but still pretty cool. And then we get the story on the back of Arthur King, which says, as a child, Oliver Queen became first interested in archery after encountering Master Bowman, Merlin the Magician, a phenomenally accurate archer and showman. Years later, the performer challenged Queen, now Green Arrow, to a duel and publicly humiliated him. Queen had no idea that Merlin, Arthur King, had a sideline in assassination, working for Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins. As Malcolm Merlin, he was one of the most dangerous men alive and sharp assessor of the odds. So there's a little bit more story on him there, and overall very cool to have this version of Dark Archer here. It looks pretty nice and everything. Now, of course, we did also get the Platinum, so we also have Tommy Merlin, which is the son of Malcolm Merlin, so I guess his son there, even though, like I said, I don't really know when the whole Malcolm piece came in. I don't know if that's just a later change, he adopted that name or whatever, but still looks cool here for Tommy Merlin, which is going to be pretty much the same figure, just obviously redone with the black and gray colors. So two of our Platinums there redone in black and gray, but otherwise the body, everything's going to be the same except for the head there. It's switched out, of course, for Tommy Merlin. Love how he has the little goatee like his father, wears the more like domino mask like he took possibly from like a Robin or something, is what it looked like. A little bit shorter black hair there, and of course the burn down the left side of his body, so down his face, which looks pretty nice. That very like muscly design to it there, and down his arm as well, that's just painted on there. So Tommy Merlin was the son of Malcolm Merlin, as I mentioned, and former best friend of Oliver Queen. He was assigned by Oliver's father to work on an oil rig in the Pacific Ocean, and once while Oliver was visiting to party on the rig, a group of terrorists attacked, ending with an explosion that severely burned Tommy, in which he blamed Oliver for his recklessness. Tommy would spend years in a monastery in the Pacific that cared for badly burnt patients until he re-emerged as a master archer mercenary known as Merlin that was able to match Oliver's skills with a bow. So he pretty much took over the spot for his father, and now Tommy Merlin, again another character I believe appeared in the Arrow show as well. So it looks good. Like I said, pretty much the exact same figure, just redone in the colors, so we won't go over that again. Housed all the same movements and everything. Comes with the same accessories as well, just with a black bow and a darker gray quiver there with arrows and stuff. So very nice to have this added to the collection. So another additional character. So it's nice, like in this instance, to get a whole nother character instead of just a recolor of our Dark Archer. But both look very cool there together. And of course, with both of those, we can bring them into face off against Oliver Queen, our Green Arrow here. So we can have both of those now facing off against him. So very nice to add both of those characters to the collection. And next up, we have Deathstroke, who is Slade Wilson. He joined the U.S. Army at age 16 after lying about his age and quickly showed his skills. He was placed in training to learn new fighting techniques and was able to master every new fighting form in less than a year. He was then chosen for an experiment that imbued him with a drug that enhanced his physical abilities in an attempt to create super soldiers. He would become a mercenary after defying orders, with his first mission bringing him into conflict with the Teen Titans. So Deathstroke was introduced and was kind of mostly known for being a villain of the Teen Titans, but he has enhanced strength, speed, durability, senses, and reflexes, as well as accelerated healing. He's also a tactical expert, excellent at all martial arts, and a master of all weapons. So cool to get a more classic look to Deathstroke here. We've had others before, but more modern designs, so nice to get this nice classic looking one. I absolutely love this design with the dark blue, lighter blue, and orange design. Just absolutely love that design to him. So it looks good. He has the fully covered mask, so we get the half blue, half orange design with the side here with the orange having the black covering his eye. And of course, he is missing an eye, usually has an eye patch and stuff, so no eye showing there. And love like the little gold designs there where his ears would be, and of course the tie there at the back. Then we get his outfit, so darker blue up top here. So then we transition to, I guess, a gold necklace and then a band of metallic blue there around his neck, so that looks nice. Then a dark blue here in the top, so covering his chest and going over to the shoulders. They have gold bands around them as well. Then we start to get almost like a chainmail like design, so there on his forearms, or at least around his elbows, his midsection, and on his thighs. Then he's got orange underwear, orange belt with a holster off the side, and orange gloves that are pretty nice with a gold band at the top, and orange boots with a big pirate cuff there as well. So it looks pretty nice. Love that design as well, and overall looks cool. And then of course I forgot it has the bandolier of ammo there around his chest as well, so that's a nice addition of detail on him there. But for moments, his head will twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far. So again, not a whole lot of range, unfortunately. Shoulders up to 90 there. It has the butterfly and rotates around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch, at least the upper ab crunch back and forth, and twist around. Can't like probably twist all the way around, just sort of fighting there. I don't want to stretch the material. And then should be able to crunch at the waist as well, just with the way he's designed. It's hard to really get a hold, but crunches a little and pretty much doesn't twist around either. It feels pretty solid in there. Hips will come up towards 90 and out to the side that far, not far from the splits, but not fully. Thigh twist at the hip, the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. And then we go down to the foot that'll rock back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So good movements overall. Again, not much difference with all the movements and stuff. Maybe some limitations here and there. I did also want to point out, I don't know how well it comes through the camera or anything, but they do have a wash over it, at least because I assume the underwear is just all the orange color. But they have wash like almost like shadowing or dirt and stuff. So over the underwear, the belt piece, maybe some of the gloves, and then some of the boots as well. So it's kind of darker in spots, like there's a bunch of black paint on it and stuff. But overall, just add some detail, like I said, with some shading or whatever it's supposed to be going on there. But for accessories, he comes with some additional hands, so we get some trigger finger hands since he does come with gun, so which is pretty nice that we get McFarlane figures with guns. But it just goes along with his fist hand and like claw like hands got there. But let's switch those trigger finger hands out. And with those trigger finger hands, we can give him some guns. So first he comes with a pistol. Of course, they're McFarlane's, so all the guns are like super fat and like oversized and stuff. But we get a nice pistol with a scope up top. Now he does have that holster on the side. We can go and just store that in just so it's stored away there, so he can always have that gun on him. Then he comes with a range of other guns. So we get different like rifles and stuff. So we get this one, looks pretty nice. Like I said, just stinks that that's the McFarlane design, so they're like really thick. So may have issues with like getting them in his hands and stuff. But with that rifle, we get this rifle, which looks more like a gun I recognize and stuff. I want to say like an M16 off the top of my head. Not good with guns and stuff, but there's just that gun. And then this even bigger gun, so it has a bigger magazine, looks like probably a grenade launcher attached to the bomb and stuff. So you just get 3 different size guns there we can give him. I think I may go and give him this gun, and of course I didn't pay attention when we had that like more claw hand or whatever. We can use that to help hold that in his hand, so I may switch that back out. So there's the gun in Deathstroke's hand. So really nice of that, especially having that additional like cup hand stuff. So you can get him to hold on to the guns, especially the bigger rifles there, and just kind of adjust and do whatever you want. You may have him dual wield guns if you want. Like I said, just whatever you want there you can do with him, which is nice with those guns. And then of course we also get a base we can put him on. So that'll keep him standing there. So looks pretty nice overall for that. Now, of course, we've had other Deathstrokes, multiple of them. I just went and grabbed one that was like most similar in like color, of course, with the orange and blue design. So this is again the more modern design, whatever it's supposed to be from here. But there's the more modern Deathstroke compared to this older one. Like for me, though, I definitely love the look of this older Deathstroke. So definitely love having this. And of course, we get his card. So there's a nice picture of him. Looks, you can see the color inspiration. They did a really good job with a lot of the details and everything for him. Looks pretty good, very similar overall there. And then we get the story of Slade Wilson on the back, which says Deathstroke is the most feared and respected mercenary in the world. His elite military training and a genetically enhanced physique make him a dangerous combatant, but his deadliest weapon is his mind. A master strategist and tactician, Deathstroke specializes in psychological warfare tactics that he uses to devastating effects. So good, more information there for a Deathstroke that looks cool. Now, of course, we also have the platinum for him as well. So again, it's going to be the exact same figure again, just switched up the colors to the black and gray to make him look more like from the Teen Titans animated series where he appeared as a villain in that a lot. So nice to have that design as well. So this could go with our Teen Titans. Love how you can see more of his actual eye and stuff, where this one's all painted like black around the skin and stuff, but this one, I don't know if it's painted white or you can just see more of his skin and he's really pale and stuff there. But yeah, exact same figure, comes with all the same weapons, everything going to be exactly the same, just the different color design there with making it all the black and gray scale, which looks pretty nice, but then still get the orange thrown in there from his mask. And then just for comparison to that one, like that other figure, we got one that matches with that as well in the black color, but has some of the orange thrown in as well. So those two are very similar with older and more modern designs for that as well. So very cool for both of these Deathstrokes. Of course, for me, I like the blue and orange one much more, but it is cool just to have both, especially now that I add this one to our Teen Titans. And finally, that leaves us with our Darkstars, which is a group of intergalactic policemen created by the Controllers, which was an offshoot of the Guardians of the Universe, to keep trouble away from the galaxy of their domain. There would be thousands of protectors to have the name Darkstar. Following the collapse of the Green Lantern Corps, the Darkstars would fill the void with many of the Green Lanterns serving as Darkstars, and they were exomantle suits of armor that give them super strength, speed, agility, as well as the ability to create force fields, fly, and shoot off energy bolts. Now, of course, many characters, as I mentioned with the Green Lanterns, have been Darkstars before, or characters at least that we know names of. So there's been John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Donna Troy, Tomar 2, and Farron Kolos, which we'll see a head design for it. So this is the suit. Of course, pretty basic and everything. There's nothing like too special about it, just this suit that they wear, and much, like the Green Lanterns wearing very similar suits overall. Darkstars all wear this same suit, so it looks pretty good. Of course, this one has more, or is the more modern design with the silver, and it's got a metallic to it, the red, but it's like a dark darker red color, so I don't know exactly what you call it and stuff. But you got like the star logo on her chest and almost like a bird like design, almost like wing designs there to the side. We have the mask that's just an all gold mask to go along with the silver there, so the silver just completely covers up. Reminds me of like an Iron Man suit and everything with the design, with the red and silver just running all through with the different designs. Of course, you get like striations and stuff through, just all sorts of little details down to the feet where you get some black thrown in as well. So it just looks pretty good overall for the figure design, you know, pretty basic and stuff, but it has a pretty cool story and stuff to it. It's so nice figure overall. But moon-wise, the head will twist all the way around and look down that far and up that far, so not a whole lot of range, unfortunately. Shoulders will come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We had a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up all the way up on itself. Get the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex up and down there on the ball joint. Then we get the ab crunch, the upper crunch back and forth just a little, and we'll twist all the way around. And then at the waist crunch and twist all the way around. Then down to the hips up to 90 and to the side to that far, so not all the way to the splits. Has a thigh twist though, and the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. And then we go down to the foot that rocks back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So decent movements, you know, good movements, nothing wrong with that at all. Once again, standard for the McFarlanes. But for accessories, we do get an additional helmet that we can switch out. So we get this helmet that has damage there, and we see the face of Jon Stewart down under there, so that's pretty nice. And of course, our Chase figure came with the Jon Stewart head, but you can switch that out if you want the damage. And then we also get some fist hands, so if you don't want to have the hands he's got on there, so just like an open hand and a grip hand, we get a fist if you want the fist hand, and of course the base that we'll put him on, so that'll keep him standing there. And of course we get the card form, so there's a picture of the Darkstar there. Of course you see more of the Green Lanterns and everything there with some of our characters. That's pretty nice. And then we get the story on the back of the Darkstars, which says the Darkstars were formed to patrol space and destroy chaos by the controllers, an aggressive sect of the Guardians of the Universe, and Nemo, the network for the establishment and maintenance of order. Farron Kolos of Zamba joined the group and was assigned to Earth after the Darkstar's Legion and the Green Lantern Corps defeated the Triarch, a trinity of evil ancient deities. The three groups agreed on their separate peacekeeping roles in the universe, so there's connecting more with the Green Lanterns and all that. So nice for this overall. And of course with this we can switch out different character designs. So like for the Darkstar, since it's a whole army, you can have multiple of them and they all wear the same outfits, you can easily get these, switch out different heads. So we did that here already. So we got the Guy Gardner head on this one, so we can turn one into Guy Gardner. And then of course with our platinum that we also got, so it's going to be the same body and everything, just different color design, making it more classic with the brighter red and whites and stuff. Still a little bit of silver there on the shoulder pads, but everything else, you know, very much more simple, basic in design, with it being all red and stuff. Looks good. Came with a Jon Stewart head, so we get the Jon Stewart head there on that body that we can then switch out, but it also came with that Farron Kolos head that I mentioned, so we can maybe switch that out. So there's the Farron Kolos on there, and then of course we could put the Jon Stewart head on that, since it kind of came with the cracked version that came with it. Or another character they mentioned was the Tomar too, so we've had that head with those other Green Lanterns in the past, so you put that on there instead. So you can just pick and switch all the different heads out, whatever you want to do there to make the Darkstar, so you can build a whole army, especially if you have those extra heads and stuff. So really nice to get them. Like I said, their suits aren't, at least to me, as cool as like the Green Lanterns and stuff, but it does look pretty nice. I do like the brighter red color more, so I wish the brighter red on this with all the silver, I think it'd be pretty cool. And then like I said, just being able to switch out the heads to all the different characters is pretty cool. So very nice design overall for the Darkstars. And there we have wave 12 of our McFarlane Collection Edition figures with our normal figures and the platinum. So we get Dark Archer and his son Tommy, as well as Deathstroke in the Teen Titans version, and the Darkstars old and new. So very cool for this wave overall. Nice additions to the collection, especially like Dark Archer and Darkstars, characters we've never had before. Of course, we've had Deathstrokes, but like I said, this is my absolute favorite design for him. Really nice. And then of course the Teen Titans design to add with them is really awesome as well. So overall, a really cool wave. So let me know what you thought of this wave down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like, and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.